Hey, what's happening, everybody? All right, it's Steven at you again on Bama and GA Outdoors, doing the fourth little video on this Old Country Angus. I got it fired up right now. You can see the smoke drifting all around me, and I'm just watching my temperatures with the mods that I made. And so far, the temperature has not flown up too terribly fast. Right now, on the main chamber, I'm sitting right around 380, 385. On the vertical over here, I'm just barely above 175. It just bounced. So I'm hitting about 180, 185 as indicated. I got a pretty big fire in here. Like I said, I was gonna throw a big fire in it and let it roll till it come down. And then I'm gonna play with the tuning plates, because right now I just got them in a position where I can see. Man, I see something too that I'm not liking. Can y'all see that crack right there at the corner of the firebox? I see that crack. Dang, I'm gonna have to weld that up. But anyway, so far I like the fact that the little mod I did that big fire on purpose. But the other day when I lit the fire that fast, that thing was already almost pegged out. It was way down here over 500-degree range. So I'm not mad that it did slow it down, and the vertical is actually coming up quicker than it did the other day when I fired it up. So I'm gonna go door closed, dampener only, and see how that does. And I probably let it go for about 5 more minutes, just like that, so all the wood, maybe even less than that, so all the wood can get caught up, because I want it all to burn hot real fast. I do want to get a cold bed established, because I am going to do a cook. I got some chicken and some little beef skewers that I'm going to throw on there just as a little, kind of like a little test cook. Tomorrow I'll be doing my Sunday smoke, and that's when I'm gonna really kind of start figuring out a whole lot, because it may or may not be different proteins at one time on here. Could be 3 to 4 different proteins, but I don't know. I don't know if I want to go that route that fast with this thing. But right now, I'm gonna see what's going on with it. I did put some gasket up here on this door. It is still smoke coming out around the door. I don't know if y'all can see that, but it is still smoke coming out around the door. I don't know if I tried to clean it off the best I could, and then of course there's oil on it that's burning off, but I tried to clean it off the best I could. But from everything I see, I'm still getting a ton of leaks. I guess because that, there was grease and stuff. I didn't clean the edges of the door seals really good before I put the fire in it the last time. All I did was clean the chamber and the grates pretty decently, clean the chamber really well, and I didn't clean around those door seals, so the gasket isn't sticking. So the way I got that one up there is kind of like being held by pressure right now. Hopefully it'll get a little warm enough that it'll be able to adhere and seal it off. But for the most part, so far, that's one of the cons I have, is the fact that this thing does not seal well. At least the one that I bought doesn't seal well. So we're gonna see what happens when I finally do get the gasket set properly in place and everything. I had to mess with the vertical door the first day. The locking lever mechanism, for whatever reason, it wouldn't pull the door too tightly. You put the door on there and the door was kind of like out of line, so it would kind of lift instead. And if you put it down to where it would just stop with just a general, just little flop of it, the door would have would have play in it, letting you know that, hey, I'm not closed. Like right now the door, it's getting warm, boy. Yeah, that suck up to about 225 almost. But the door without that gasket in there, it had a little bit of play in it. Probably, I don't know, probably a 16th of an inch or more, or less, excuse me, of play on it. And I didn't like that. And then I kept looking at the inside of the little hook that locked the door, and it was a little too long. So I cut it off, and then I did something I thought would work, and it actually holds it much closer. I don't know about y'all, but if any of y'all's handle is, kind of wiggles loosely, let me know about that too, because I may have to do something to tighten that up. But on mine, this was too long, so I cut it off, and I cut it too short. Then I had to weld a little piece on. But right here, this thing is not level. So what was happening is when it would come down, it actually was sitting in a spot where it was up against, it was hitting that, it's a weld right there. It was hitting that weld, and the thing would not get tight. So I was like, dang, man. I figured out what it was, and then I did what I did, and as soon as I put it on there, the door just snugged up, and I was like, okay, so it should get way tighter with gasket. But still, it's still a lot of room for sealing up, man. That, you see all the smokes that's coming out from around that. And of course, all of this down here is pretty much oil. I just sprayed some oil on it. Now I do have a leak on this side of the chamber door. So if I got a leak over there, I probably got a leak over there. But I just fired it up, and usually when I do a first firing on them, after the next cook, at the next cook, I usually will spray oil on them before I fire them up. And I just kind of like to let the oil cook into it. That's just me. I gotta set something down. Like I said the other day, I feel like that may slow the rusting process down. But right now, let's check this temp again. See, this thing right now, it's hitting right about 440. And this one is up right now about getting ready to hit 220. No, I'm sorry, getting ready to hit 215. It's around 215. So it's coming up. This side came up way quicker than it did the other day, even to that point. So what I'm getting ready to do, because let me look at this wood. I'm getting to the point to where I'm gonna get ready to start playing with them tuning plates. But that handle is not a cool touch handle. That thing got hot quick. So my wood is still it is raging. And as you can see, I did a little kind of a V shape with the racks that I was using in the charbroil offset that I made into a homemade reverse flow. So let's see how it's going up toward the throat. Those flames are licking that way. But today the wind is kind of crazy, so I got some kind of coming back at me too. But I'm gonna go ahead and play with these tuning plates real quick while it's up this high, and then I'm gonna see how it reacts. So I'll come back to y'all in a little bit and show y'all what it did. All right, guys. So I made a move on the tuning plates because at the high temp, it steadied. It didn't get any higher than about 425 on the main cook chamber, and it got up to about 300 on the vertical. So then what I did was I wanted to make a change with the tuning plates while the fire was still big, and see what happened. And I did some other things too. So this is what happened. After letting it go for a while and not adding a stick on there, and that's really dry wood, right now this is sitting at about 345, 340, 345. The vertical is sitting around 215, 220. So I still got a big difference in the temperatures, but they're actually way closer than they were the other day. The other day they were 130 something, 35 to 140 degree difference in them. And right now I'm sitting here with probably around 115, 120 degree difference. That's a big difference when you can, and the main chamber just dropped again. So that's a big difference when you consider the way I look at things in the spectrum of smoking and barbecuing. If you anywhere between, I say, 225 to, around 300, maybe 325, I think you still doing good if you can manage, the heat with your foods and everything. If you know how to cook, I think you can manage that. So I'm not mad at that. I also made another move to slow the fire down. I closed down on the dampeners a little bit. I closed both of them about halfway and basically, have the equivalent of one stack open, one stack closed. I only did it that way to keep the smoke rolling out kind of the way it was through both pipes instead of just one. But what I'm getting ready to do is I'm gonna go ahead and do a little initial first cook on this thing. So for my initial first cook on it, since it's this hot and I don't want to be out here real long cooking because I'm hungry and my family's hungry, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and put on what I got, which I have some chicken thighs, which I like doing chicken thighs on a first cook on a smoker because of the grease. I like that kind of get in there. And what I did was the two rubs I used these are Kroger Private Selections. So I got a Texas one, bold and smoky, and I got a kicking chili and lime. I really like both of these. This will be my first time putting them together on chicken, but I know my smoke flavor isn't gonna be the way I want it with this wood, and I didn't want to split any greener hickory. So that's what that is with the chicken. So over here I got some beef skewers, beef and bacon. So I seasoned them up with some Holy Cow from Meat Church. So I just sprinkled that on there and pressed it down on them, and I'm gonna put them on there. And that's what we're doing today on here for the little initial break-in. Tomorrow I have yet to make my menu, but I'm gonna try to cook the entire meal on this thing. I'm gonna try to cook the entire meal on here. I still haven't quite figured out how I'm gonna do that, but I think I can manage, especially with that vertical. And with this firebox, with the firebox lid getting as hot as it does because there's no plate in there for like a sacrificial plate or even a griddle, so I can sit whatever I want to in a pot up there and just let it go. Then I can put proteins in here and other protein type sides in here, carb stuff, bread stuff, pasta stuff. So I just may do that tomorrow. I may try it like that and just see where it takes me. At may be quite a big task trying to manage all of that stuff on this thing at one time while trying to balance out the temps, but that's why I'm cooking today on it, to try to get it to where I'll be more comfortable tomorrow when I do Sunday smoke. Right now we just had a temperature change a few seconds ago. So on the main chamber, right now we're hitting about 327, between 325 and 330, about 327 as indicated. And over here on the vertical, we've dropped down some more, but we're still holding about 220 right now, between 220 and 225 on the vertical. Sorry about that, y'all. But that's where we at. So I'm gonna go ahead because I'm gonna lose a lot of heat. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get my stuff put on the grill. All right. Okay, so we got everything on there. So we're gonna go ahead and get it closed down and let them go. And we'll come back and we'll check on these in a little while, probably about an hour. I just want to get this thing to stabilize real quick again on the temps. So we'll come back and check on them in a little while. All right, y'all. I think I figured a little something out right here. I let my cold bed get down real nice, and it was holding because, hadn't opened it or anything. It was holding on the main chamber side at about 350, and that was before I put any wood on it. After I opened it and I looked at my cold bed, I decided I wanted to add a stick to it. So I added a stick of this hickory, one that was not quite as dry as the really dry stuff, and I added just a sliver. And when I say a sliver, I mean a sliver, probably about a half-inch thick, about a 12-inch long piece of a pecan that I got. That's a piece of it laying up on top of the hickory. But I got some of this stuff from Academy, this Southern pecan, and I took a little sliver out of there and put it in there. The thing that I saw that I liked was once I put those pieces on there, the temperature just seemed to stay steady now, right on 250 in the main chamber. And over here on the vertical, I'm sitting right now right about 220. So there's a 30-degree deal right there. You know what I'm saying? I got it down to 30 degrees. The thing that I'm liking in is this is all within the temperature range that I'm good with smoking at. You know what I'm saying? As far as where the temp's at, I'm good with it right there. But one thing I did figure out is I know what side I can do what on, because I got, we all got the holidays. We all got the holidays coming up, and everybody this smoker crazy like myself love to cook for the family. We got some potentially long cooks coming. So if you're trying to get stuff figured out right now and you don't have a lot of time on your hands to do it, I tell you this much right here. This is my 4th video I think I've made of this thing since I picked it up on Tuesday. Today is Saturday. So what we looking at, 5 days. And I skipped a day. And I'm already cooking because all it took me was about an hour and a half each evening to do what I wanted to do. And I could have I could have did a whole lot more, but I ain't in no hurry. But you got time right now to get it sorted out, man. Throw you a little piece of chicken or something on there after you get your mods done. See how it run. And I'm so far I'm pretty happy, man, with just the fact that this thing temperature completely stabilized in a really good area for me after that. Now I know it's a lot of factors that come into play on it doing that, but I know this for a fact. This winter, definitely colder weather, you gotta up your fuel in your firebox. Okay, that's cool. But we got a day or two coming next week where we gonna be cold. And I think I may, after work, just come out here and throw some sausage or something on it just to see. I just might leave it, sitting out here so the metal is cold. And then when I get off work, just run out here with a pack of Kaneka or something. Just, get it hot right fast, get the temperature stable, throw them on there and see how it react. And just do that, because before you know it, November, December be here, and I'll be having everything on this thing. And I just want to make sure that it's going to be something that I ain't gonna have to fight with, you know what I'm saying? Because every year I have to fight with all of them other pieces of theft, whatever you want to call them, in there. I'm grateful to have those because uh, out of all of those that I have in there, I've only paid, well, I had like 11 or 12 at one time, and I only paid for 3. So I'm thankful to have them, but at the same time, I'm thankful to have this now, and I'll be even more grateful once my Shirley gets built, because that one's gonna be way thicker than this one, at least by another 16 in the cook chamber, at least. But it's going pretty good right now. Those temps haven't moved at all. That thing has just been locked in on 250 with where I got those grates at right now, those plates. And this thing is still holding right there where it was, man, right around 220. If that baby run like that, I'm good. But I know for a fact I can probably do something else with those plates, make some other adjustments, and that's going to be what I'll be doing also when I check to see how it reacts to the weather. The adjustments of those tuning plates are probably going to play some kind of role, so I want to get that stuff locked in right now, so I know. And I'm going to make me some kind of little deal like my man Flaming did, where even, I already done took some ideas from man, I can't never remember people's pages. Golly, I done said his name a bunch of times. Forgive me, brother. I can't call your name right now. I'm having an old person moment. But Heartland, Heartland, I already done, took some of his ideas and just did a little something different with them. But at the same point in time, that's why we all here, to learn from each other. If somebody is doing something and you see that it's something that could particularly benefit you, go ahead, man, do it. You know what I'm saying? We all got ideas, and the crazy thing is, before I even found out this thing, because I'm just a Shirley freak, before I found out about this thing, man, all I ever did was bypass Old Country Smokers after I looked at the over-under. Once I looked at the over-under and saw that was pretty much just sheet metal, I was like, man, I don't want to deal with no Old Country. And then all of a sudden I saw somebody said something about, it was old buddy, Mad Scientist, was like $1,000 backyard cooker that'll cook as good as them really, really expensive ones. And I was like, what is he talking about? And I saw that Brazos, and I was like, okay, let's see this. And I watched it. So I went back to Academy to look at the Brazos, because it's a 1/4 inch thick. And when I looked at the Brazos, I was like, man, that's got a lot of upside. And then I was like, but it's still an offset as far as backyard smoker capacity. I was like, I want a cabinet. And then I found out they made these, and I seen it, and I finally got to see one at Academy, and I looked at it and I was like, okay, this is pretty serious. It's pretty serious. So that's when I got into watching all the videos that I did from Heartland and Flaming. I've watched their videos. Golly, I probably done topped their viewers. I don't know, I'm just joking, but I've watched them a bunch of times before I start looking at it and thinking I can probably do some personal things to it myself in addition to the things they've done to theirs, and just kind of get it to suit me. And that's what I'm doing. So, everybody do the thing, and, sooner or later you figure out this thing is a really good cooker, man. I haven't seen enough cooking videos on them, and I cook everything on a smoker, man. I cook everything from fish, venison, turtle, frog legs. I cook everything on here, man. I'll even come out here and I'll put a pan on top of that doggone firebox and cook breakfast on it. So it is what it is. It's versatile, and I'm an outdoorsy person. So for me, this keep me outside a lot. My wife already hate that I'm outside all the time. But anyway, man, everything working out good right now. We're gonna come back here and in about another 45 minutes or so, and we're gonna look at this chicken and them little beef kebabs, and we're gonna see what's going on. But right now, I'm loving what's going on. I hear that sizzling in there, sound like the reverse plate on my other one. I love that sound. That mug is not moving. I'm really happy. I'm really happy. But I'm also finding out that what Heartland said is true. If you in the higher temperature range, you're gonna have a wider spread of temperatures. So if you want to cook at that 300 plus mark, just know your vertical chamber gonna be quite a bit warmer than you normally would around 250. I think I can probably get both sides to balance out at 250 if I play with the damper a little bit. But I ain't gonna do that just yet. I'm gonna let it ride like that for a while, and then when I check the chicken, I think what I'm gonna do is move the tuning plates around a little bit and see what happens. All right, we'll come back to y'all in a little bit. All right, guys, it's been about an hour, so I'm gonna go ahead and take a look at this chicken and these little beef kebabs and see what they looking like. I'm also probably gonna get ready to add a stick. My temperature, if depending on what my chicken at, I may or may not add a stick because I'm not in a big hurry. But you see, I'm down there right now, 230, 235, and the vertical is dropped below 200. It's sitting right now around 185, 190. Okay, let's see. All right. And this is also when I'm gonna make some tuning plate adjustments. Just to play with it a little more, cause I'm definitely got to get me a little hotter temp in here. That gauge got to be off badly, cause it does not feel hot in here at all. But I'm gonna flip this stuff over, get it all taken care of, and then I'm gonna move my tuning plate. So I'll come back to y'all in a minute. Alright, so I just made another tuning plate adjustment because the main cook chamber was going up in temperature and the vertical wasn't doing anything. And I also just flipped them over so I could see how that adjustment I had before had the meat. This is my hottest spot, hence this darkest piece. Back here, of course, and then the further you get down, the lighter the chicken gets. So, low and slow on this end, and then the vertical a little bit warmer down here. But just based off of the way it's been cooking the stuff down here, this is actually gonna work out pretty good, because I mean it took it quite a while before the chicken got like that, and it's not burnt up. That piece is charred nicely, but that's not burnt up. So I just made another adjustment, so I'm gonna see what happens right now with this other adjustment, and we'll come back to you guys in a little bit. All right, y'all. Well, my cook is almost over. I'm probing everything, and so far everything's about done. This is where I dropped off at, and that's reading 180s. So everything in here, these pieces closer to the vertical, yeah, these are the ones I'm more concerned about. See, at 163. I'm gonna have to let these go a little longer. Yeah, almost there, but not quite there. The further you get down, see, that's just 148. The further you get down toward that vertical chamber, like any other offset, you start losing a lot of temperature. That's 160. So my done line with the configuration I got right now, that's 183. That's good. All of these up here, they good. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So I'm gonna pull those that are closer to the front, and they're juicy. And I'm gonna rotate the other ones up. So I know these are all done. So that's all good. Little beef sticks, they done. I temped them before I temped the chicken, and they were good to go. I'm fixing to bite one of them though, cause I'm hungry and I want to see how they do. But let me rotate this now. Let this cook down a little bit. I got enough now I can take to the family, and they can start eating dinner. And I'm gonna come back out here and keep spending my time with the Lord and this smoker. All right, y'all. So far, it's acting about like I thought it would act. It's acting about like I thought it would act. And what I mean by that is, all I'm doing is slowing down a major hot spot and making it manageable to cook on. That's basically what it's doing. I'm having a little technical difficulties with my tones, y'all. I apologize. There we go. But I guess what I thought would happen really isn't happening the way I thought it would, because in order for me to get that vertical up to cooking temperature, I gotta overheat the main chamber. But the good thing is, for things that I want to cook seriously slow and low, that vertical chamber is perfect, and I can cook the fast stuff on this end. But the bad thing about that vertical is, excuse me, it does not recover quickly at all. I mean, like right now, this thing is at 150. It's at 150. And this thing is already at 210. So, you know, we got a 60-degree difference just that quickly, and I only opened the main chamber. But that's all good, because like I said, it allows me to do different things in the same unit, you know, that might not require the same kind of temperature and time as everything else. That's a win-win in my situation. My book, the way I look at it, I just want to play with it. And I have played with these tuning plates, y'all, just watching the response so much that I really do think that my first thought on how I wanted to set them up in my head and the results I got from that are gonna be the best. My first configuration, I remember how it was. So I'm gonna make me a little deal like Flaming did, and I'm gonna make it to where I can set it. But I am gonna add me another plate in there, because the further I can push the heat down toward the vertical, it seems like, you know, without it rising up through the gaps and stuff, it heats up that vertical chamber a lot quicker that way. So I'm gonna do that, and I may even reverse them just to see how that works, putting that old fire grate at the firebox end and then putting the plates at the other end, and just seeing how that'll do. So we'll see. But anyway, I kind of like it right now. So that's gonna do it for today, y'all. I appreciate y'all watching these videos, man. It really is just something I'm just trying to learn and help, and hopefully I learn from some other people, because it's just something I like to do, is cooking stuff, man. But I don't think it's no right or wrong way to do it if it works out for you and everybody like your product. So you know what I'm saying, you do what you do, and just, you know, do it to the best of your ability. But anyway, I appreciate y'all watching. Y'all have a blessed evening. Later.